Are we on? Nobody signaled us. Thanks for watching our show. They caught us completely off guard. Luckily, there was no swearing. There was a lot of unintelligent statements. Thank you for watching Pittsburgh Sportsline. I want special thanks for Julia at the pizza shop. Ryan was making pizza. She's just going to watch our show, she said. And she said, I'll take a picture because I wanted to get Ryan in action making our pizza. That'll be for another show. But thanks for offering to take our photo. And I was going to let her use my new camera, so we appreciate that. You can watch us Comcast 7, as everybody in Bethel Park knows. I was at Community Day. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And it was just a great crowd there and a lot of feedback about our show. All good, as far as I know. That's what they told me. Anyhow, Verizon 32, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and everywhere in between. So thanks for watching us there. I got to announce that we hit, this is the largest number, 282 pounds is going to cross the screen.
And not quickly.
You know what? There's a lunar eclipse on the 27th and 28th. We just had a Pittsburgh Sportsline eclipse. And I'm trying to give them time to sit down. But we hit a brand new high. Facebook likes 4,837. So Jim Ajay, that's our new record. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate the likes. And keep contacting Smoking Jim about all the likes there. And I don't know what they're doing. Is money trading hands there? You guys betting on baseball?
No,
Nice.
we wouldn't do that.
All right, this is a family show, as
That's
everybody
right.
knows. So those are some of the things out there. And I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier. Zach Brenner just come in from somewhere out in Plumbingville, and he made it into the show. So the whole crew is here. Too bad the Tiger can't take a photo when the whole crew's not said anything rude to one another or interrupted.
Give us a few minutes.
Okay. Speaking of that, anybody that's new watching our show, we start with what's on your mind. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to ask, hey, Zach Brenner, what's on your mind? Can you get the camera on him or cut his mic? He's here.
Whoa, I was waiting for the camera to come. I know show business.
Well, you know what? Real men, wait,
on
real
the
men
screen.
wear pink. They were just saying, we got the light on him. He got a tan that's 10 times darker than it is in real life. People don't recognize me. They think I'm truly Smoking Jim's brother from another mother. Don't worry, folks. In about 2.5 months, this will disappear, and Smoking Jim doesn't even mention me anymore. But Zach Brenner, can we get that camera? What's on your mind?
Well, folks,
there he is.
What's really on my mind tonight, folks, is that for all the viewers that actually pay attention and watch the show, and for everybody that also listens to the local media, whether it's on 93.7 The Fan, 105.9 with Madden, or 106.3 now with another sister ESPN station on the air, if you actually take the time to listen to what people say, if you watched the show last Tuesday night, you heard it right here, folks, about what was going to happen this Sunday at Heinz Field. I told you that that defense had all the makings of a team that can improve week to week. We know what we're getting with the offense. D'Angelo Williams was big time on Sunday. I hope they continue to feed him the rock when Le'Veon Bell comes back this week. But for, like I said, for the folks that actually listen to the show, it was stated right here, live on the air, that the Steelers' defense was going to improve. Now, hey, like I said, even Rex Ryan said King Kong would have a hard time covering Gronk. Well, King Kong isn't even a real character or a real person. Actual football players will cover Gronk, but like I said, the scheme with Butler is improving. I knew it would. I knew it had to take time. Even Bud Dupree is starting to blossom now, and it's starting. And I tell you what, I want to give a shout out to somebody who I've been really critical of that really played a great game, and I watched it live on Sunday, and that's number 50, Ryan Shazier. I tell you what, that kid, man, played an awesome ball game on Sunday. So I tell you what, just continue to watch out for that defense to improve, and that's all we really needed here in Pittsburgh, folks, was that defense to improve. And I got one last thing that's on my mind tonight, folks, And since we're in a pennant race, and we got a young guy.
Don't waste your time. We'll talk about that.
Could you zoom in here, Tucker? Could you zoom in here, Tucker?
Like that.
Could you zoom in here? Go Buccos.
Andy Van Slyke.
Go Buccos. Actually, that's Bob Walk.
Is that right?
Go Buccos.
Smoking Jim is our non-resident baseball non-expert. So thanks again, striking out Smoking Jim. And Bob Walk was a great pitcher at his time, and he's on the TV as an announcer. Enjoyed listening to his comments there. Thanks, Zach Brenner. I hope we got some stuff left for a Steelers segment. We'll see what happens. All right, Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Old high school option quarterback days back to you.
Can we verify that? Because I never heard anybody.
Do we have any footage?
Any film, as the coaches say. Any film out there?
Beer option. But
Yeah, but what about you? Can't distract the audience. They still want to know your age. Oh, did I say that out loud? Go ahead. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is I humbly announced that got a call this week from NBC Channel 11 and Program Championship. Chase picked me up full time, so very, very honored for that. Thank you very much.
I watched the show. It's on at 1:30 in the morning.
Right after the Jerome Bettis show, so people, Al Levine had to DVR it, but
sorry.
It's a great honor to be able to work with Liz Costa each and every week, so photos will be coming on board. Al Levine, Talking Machine, always having the busiest man in media, local media, and that may be true. This week, most people usually don't bring in the articles that I write weekly.
Except when you write them.
In a local paper. But this past week, I'm on the front page of the newspaper that I cover. I had a dilemma to put on the front page, and you guys decide which you would have went, whether it had been the Pittsburgh Steelers over the San Francisco 49ers, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who took champagne with them to celebrate their wild card if they would have gotten it, or the Penguins that played tonight. What would you guys have put on the front page of the...
If I worked for the Courier, the Penguins would not even be on the radar.
Okay.
Because you're not allowed
No
to
hockey.
go on.
No hockey.
There'd be no hockey.
What'd you say, Chip?
I'd go to Buccos, but
Could have been Pitt, too.
could have been.
Buccos.
I'm going with the Steezos.
Going with the Steelers. You guys were all close. Zoom in here.
Oh, I didn't know the Gateway Gators were an option. Were the Gators an option in these choices?
Peary is Gator bait for Gateway, so I'll let you guys kind of look at that. But speaking of high school sports, and that kind of bumped the Steelers and the Pirates off the front page.
Oh, that the Steelers are on the front page.
Yeah, but the lead story is Gateway.
Yeah,
And
but they're above the fold.
Yeah, there
As
you
you
go.
know in newspaper land,
I was
everything
right.
above the
I
fold
was
is
right.
good.
You know it better than me.
All right.
But
Let me
anywho,
just hold that up. Get a close up here.
thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I appreciate
Which camera? Which camera is this? This is the close up. This is live TV,
He's
folks.
working it.
That is excellent. Smoking Jim's possible golden quill for 2015. I want to throw it right into the ring.
But what's on my
Thanks,
mind?
Sean,
What's on my
for being
mind?
so quick on that. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rookie of the Year. We appreciate it.
No, that was a couple years ago.
And, but what's on my mind is actually high school football. And, the upset of the week, my man Lil Z broke the story for me on Sunday. I had no idea when we had our breakfast meeting that North Allegheny upset Central Catholic. And, it just goes to show that you can't just roll your helmet out there on the field. North Allegheny got 8 Division I prospects, but what they forgot was Art Walker Jr. is the head coach of North Allegheny, used to coach Central. So if anybody knows how to beat them, it's him. And also, congratulations to Steel Valley, 55-0 winner over a powerhouse Stowe Rocks team. And before I announce this, Al Levine, the talking machine, I don't know if you guys want credit for this or you want to put a disclaimer, but I have the Pittsburgh Sportsline Player of the Week. Do you guys want to
Hold it, let me think about that.
I'm all in
Okay.
on that one.
No, this isn't going to be anything negative. It's going to be
College,
like positive.
college?
high school?
Okay.
High school.
It's gonna be
Pittsburgh
like
Sportsline
positive stuff?
High School Player of the Week, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm all in.
You're all
Because
in?
as soon as I see that Sweeties for Jimmy and negative stuff,
Okay.
we can't have the player involved
right,
in that.
there we
Because
go.
they're in high school.
They're in
Just
high
setting a
school.
little guideline for you.
All right, the high school player of the week this week, Pittsburgh Sportsline high school football player of the week. I've never seen a high school football player in Quad A run for over 300 yards, especially against a powerhouse. But Bethel Park had one this week when they upset Upper St. Clair. Junior running back Teron Murphy is the Pittsburgh Sportsline Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Now, the disclaimer, folks, is that Smoking Jim Frazier was the only person to pick this because he knows my vote would go Murray from
Dwayne
Still Valley.
Murray. Yeah.
Murray from Still Valley, so we'll go with the Bethel Park BPTV. Yeah, okay.
Well, no, we just agreed that he could.
We agreed we could have the segment. We didn't take him to a vote.
No, exactly. You can disagree with everybody here like you normally do. That isn't even a problem. That's why I said as long as he's not having Sweeties involved with high school guys and anything negative, I'm okay with it.
right.
We'll
was
rule
those
on it
Sweeties?
later.
That was a nice-
Smoking Jim, I'm honored that you would do that for our show. That's deep thinking. And I have to give you a lot of credit here. Anybody in Bethel Park knows how Smoking Jim's so Gateway-centric. That means it's all about Gateway. So for him to do this is one of the greatest PR moves that Smoking Jim could ever do in the community of Bethel Park. And that's not a disclaimer. That's a fact. All right, let's go to what's on your mind, Chip?
Thank you, Alan. And Zach, before you wear out your right hand, patting yourself on the back, congratulating the Steelers defense. After the performance they had against the Patriots, there was nowhere for them to go but up. But that just leads to my other point that parity is alive and well in the NFL. But what's really on my mind is one of our, well, actually the three major local college football programs. That's what's on my mind this week because once again, the Pitt Panthers played Saturday night. Once again, couldn't find them on any of the television stations. And, and Pitt Panthers have this nasty habit of playing in front of a bunch of yellow seats down at Heinz Field pretty consistently. And I've been a Pitt fan for 45 or more years. I remember when Johnny Majors was originally hired. Wow. And Tony Dorsett at that time, came out of Hopewell High School and
At 171 pounds or something?
splashed onto the national scene, won a Heisman Trophy. Pitt won the national championship. So there would be nothing I would like more than to see the Pitt program actually, achieve some kind of status other than, let's say, laughingstock.
2-1.
No, so just follow me here. I think one of the greatest things about college football is the rivalries in college football. And I think that really gets a lot of fan interest and it actually tests the team. Now, you get Pitt is in one of the 5 major conferences. Penn State's in the Big Ten. West Virginia's in the Big 12. And Pitt's in the ACC. So that's great. So they've got their conference games they've got to play. Well, they have out-of-conference games that they play every year. And instead of playing teams like, say, Akron or Youngstown State, wouldn't it make better sense to rekindle the rivalries that have existed in the past where Pitt should be playing Penn State and Pitt should be playing West Virginia every single year? Now, not only would that, garner a lot more local interest, the recruiting would go crazy because which kids would go to Penn State, which to Pitt, which to WVU, and you would actually fill Heinz Field on a regular basis instead of when you bring in teams like Notre Dame or occasionally Florida State. Now I know that when Penn State and Pitt went their separate ways, it had a lot to do with Joe Paterno back in the '80s, and for whatever reason, he ended that rivalry, which is being rekindled for 3 years. And then for whatever reason, and I don't know who is responsible for this, the backyard brawl got axed, and that was one of the most exciting college games of the year. that's getting rekindled, but not until like
22,
2022.
Really?
Most of us, a good many of us won't even be alive when that series is rekindled, you know?
Yeah.
So this is what I think, instead of wasting people's time and money and bringing in Division 2A teams, Pitt needs to, do whatever it can to rekindle these rivalries and make college football something worth watching here. That's what's on my mind.
I like your insights, Chip. Thank you.
Play Army, Navy, and Air Force, too. I like that.
Yeah, right.
Are we trying to ever get a winning season in this city? Sheesh.
Everybody's a winner, whether they win or lose.
Well, with the 6 games you need to win to
Zach,
get to a
it's
bowl
got to
game.
be edited.
Yeah, it's against Division 2A teams.
Thanks to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. 412-831-1900. Shout out to Jeff who made it. This was one of the best pizzas that I've had there, and Ryan said you could, so I agree. Call Jeff. Him and Ryan were bombed with pizzas. I don't know what they were doing tonight. I walked in, there were about 7 of them already in the oven and 3 or 4 more coming out. So thanks for being our sponsor. We appreciate that. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, right at Hillcrest. Give them a call right now, 412-831-1900. Now, don't get confused. Monday nights, they have that $1.99 small pizza special. Only Monday nights. So, Smoking Jim, you get it early there, buddy. You know what the deal is. A couple things to promote. Here's this Pinot's palette. Chip told me, go bring your own bottle and start painting. You can do it. Well, on September 30th, they're giving $15 to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital of each couple hours that you go. It's like a $35 event there, and you bring a couple people and you have some fun. It's a great place in Lawrenceville, not that far from the Roberto Clemente Museum. Chip, you and Stephanie could go there and then check out the museum. Now we got a thing in Bethel Park. We got our 2nd annual zombie walk. So it's October 24th. It's only $10 to do it. Starts at 4 o'clock. It'll be at the Bethel Park High School. We're expecting a great crowd. We're working on sponsors. We may even have the Holistic Honeys, my co-host Bethany Montecalvo. She's talking about being there with Jamie, so they may be there. We're going to be filming another edition, Smoking Jim, of Healthier, Happier You tomorrow.
My favorite show.
So, what about Pittsburgh Sportsline? But thanks for that, and we'll see. Check that out. You can go online and apply, or come down here and where they have the things. There's prizes for best costume, and it'll be a great event. And we'll film the event too again. Now, what's on my mind, and it ties in with another promotion that I want to do. I was asked to help interview and film an event called the Joey Favis 5K Superheroes. They're coming in. Something happened to the Tiger. It popped. Don't worry, buddy. We're safe. But we were out there. There was a great crowd. They had this run walk, and you had to pay, to be in it and donate the money. 100% goes to trying to beat DIPG, the cancer that killed young Joey on January 21st of this past year, and he was only 8 years old. So it really touches my heart. I was glad that I could be there. And as I was walking over, I couldn't believe the lots were filled. I'm walking closer as I go to the field and everything, and I saw the starting line. There were numerous people there, and I heard that there were over, I don't know who's messaging me, but this smartphone, I can't shut it off, but we're not paying attention to it. So if you're messaging me, even in the control room, send a message to the Tiger. I'm on a roll here. So the event was over 800 people signed up from all over the area, which was just awesome. So, I thought that was a great thing. And there had to be at least 1,200 people in attendance there. It was a great day. And we were asked to film again, and I want to show this, John the Tiger, on, on the October 23rd. It's a Friday at the Crown Plaza. You might want to go to this event. They're going to have everything from, I didn't really look it over, so I better. Thanks, John. I didn't get to study.
Where's the Crown Plaza?
It's right here in Bethel Park. It's a huge hotel right across from South Hills Village. I'll show it to you, or you can find it on GPS there. $10 cover charge is all it is. 50/50s, Chinese raffle, cash bar. You can dress up and everything. It'll be a lot of fun. They're estimating a couple thousand people there, so it'll just be a great event to help get more funding for this Joey Favis, Cancer Foundation. And it's just a great thing. And we're going to try to film that, and we'll be there throughout the night. So maybe you can get an interview. And it's 18 and over. This is an adult event, 18 and over. And if you're 21 and over, I heard they might have some alcohol, so you can have a fun night. Then one more thing, since what's on my mind is more about promotions. I just heard about one of our guests, Dr. Lonnie Smith, that his performance was just unbelievable. And I didn't only hear it from Smokin' Jim, but he had a cane on our show, and I heard it was an instrument. It wasn't for him to get around. So luckily Batman left the building, so he can't verify any of that. So thanks for all the announcements, and thanks Bethel Park for letting us do this show. We're now at 202 right now, so we're going to get into the segment part of it. Smokin' Jim Frazier. Can we hear some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. I may get in with you on that October 23rd. I'll let you know. I want to get on that Chinese raffle as well.
Unless
You got to be there.
Unless you see the bat signal.
Hold it, late breaking news. 1-0 Penguins.
Woo!
Seems like Chris Letang
Nice.
scored that from
Good to have
Hornquist
him
and
back.
Malkin. 2-1 Pens.
I love me some Penguins.
I'm glad.
Bata just scored. And Colby Armstrong is now on the broadcast team. He
Really?
was an ex-Penguin who you don't know, Smokin' Jim.
I like Colby Armstrong.
Yeah, he's got his jersey.
He's wearing it underneath all that other gear. Nice Pittsburgh Sportsline hat, Smokin' Jim. All right, will you tell us fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac?
Hey, one of my old college coaches, well, he's not old, but legendary Coach Jeff Petrucci used to always say that football players aren't born. They're made between January and August. Mm-hmm. And what's on my mind is a young man that I didn't think that not too many people thought very much of when he was coming along. His dad was a legendary player for Alderdice, and his older brother was a superstar, and he wasn't much. He went to a high school near Monroeville, and
Penn Hills.
and coming out of high school, he was only a 3-star athlete, and he only had 2 college football offers. Toledo and late the University of Pittsburgh came through, but there's nobody that will outwork this young man. When I watched him in high school, I thought maybe, matter of fact, he's Zach Brenner size, basically about 6 foot, 285 pounds right now. And when he was in high school, I thought he was maybe a Division II offensive guard. He was great on defense too, but nothing like his brother. His brother was a defensive back. His brother was just a Troy Polamalu type player in high school, and he went to Pitt, and I tell you what, nobody outworked him. His name is Aaron Donald. His work ethic is probably up there with James Harrison, Rocky Bleier, and Antonio Brown as maybe the 4 hardest working guys in the history of Western Pennsylvania. He went to the Combines, and he was the strongest guy at the Combines at 35 reps with 225 pounds.
Wow.
He ran the 40 in 4.6. Last year, he was NFL Rookie of the Year, and he won more awards than any other defensive player in college football history. And my hat goes off to a guy who outworked everybody. And a young man told me one time from West Allegheny High School, who's the starting safety right now, white guy for Wisconsin University. And he told me, he says, when let me get it right. Let me get the quote right, because it meant so much to me. He says, hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. And Aaron Donald is living proof of that. So, and that's the fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
And that's
Aaron
Caputo.
Donald.
That's Caputo.
Caputo, yeah, that's it, my man. Yeah, Caputo.
I want to tell you something out. He's outworking everybody in the NFL.
Remember that
Yes,
game?
he is.
Remember that game with
Shell
and Caputo? They were going back and forth on it.
One was a sophomore, one was a junior. I talked to Caputo after that game. He told me that.
Thanks, Smoking
Good
Jim,
job.
and
Thanks.
Don't anybody watch previous film on anything from Penn Hills guys, especially with the name of Donald, even though he's very good friends with his dad.
Great guy.
I look back on some of that film. Unbelievable. The turnaround is just unbelievable.
Good call
On you, though. No,
Donald! On you!
oh, man, I was on the bandwagon when I saw him play a couple times.
Yeah.
I was there from the beginning, and I never got off of that bandwagon.
Yeah, you sure
Who did
did.
the
That's
Steelers
true.
play this week?
The Rams. Hey, that's what
And
I brought
who's
up.
on the team?
Aaron Donald.
Well, there you go.
Aaron Donald.
To the trivia.
That's my pro star player of the week. All right, let's get the Chip's trivia time. What do you got, Chip?
Hey, thank you very much, Alan. And got some baseball trivia with the end of the baseball season winding up. A lot of significant events have happened over the course of the history of baseball.
That was a Chip,
I'm ignoring it.
Just for our fans that don't know about baseball like these two, that's actually a Bronx cheer. Okay, we'll have to look that up. Let's hear Chip's trivia time. He's not even hearing.
I'm hearing nothing out of my left side of my ear.
With good reason.
But quite a number of events I feel that are of some note. Hall of Fame pitcher Grover Cleveland Alexander won his 300th game September 20th, 1924. September 20th was also significant for another great baseball player, somebody that Jim Frazier is aware of who his name is. 1968, Mickey Mantle hit his last home run in the major leagues, a solo shot against Boston's Jim Longborn. Mantle had 536 home runs in his career. Wow. Also, September 20th, 1988, Wade Boggs became the first player in the 20th century to get 200 hits in 6 consecutive seasons versus the Boston Red Sox. And I believe that record may have been surpassed by Ichiro Suzuki in the 21st century, which we are currently in. I just wanted to clarify that for Jim, because, math wasn't one of his requirements at Gateway.
It doesn't matter in life either. We have those discussions.
Also, back on September the 6th, I had mentioned that Cal Ripken broke the Iron Horse's Iron Man streak when he played in his 2,131st game. Well, the Iron Man streak finally came to an end on September 20th, 1998. Cal Ripken took himself out of the starting lineup and did not play for the Baltimore Orioles, lost to the New York Yankees, ending his consecutive game streak at 2,632 games after nearly 16 years without missing a game.
It's incredible.
Ripken said he decided the time was right to end the streak, which began on May 30th, 1982. Once again, another baseball record that will never be broken.
Never.
Let's see here. 1984. 1984 was a significant year for the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers happened to win the World Series that year. But they also accomplished a feat that was only accomplished 3 other times prior to that. The Detroit Tigers on September 18th, 1984, clinched the American League East Division with a 3-0 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers, making the Tigers the 4th team in Major League history to lead from start to finish. The other 3 teams were the 1923 New York Giants, the 1927 New York Yankees, and the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, I know the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Tigers all won the World Series. I would have to check, but I wouldn't be too far of a stretch to say that the Giants won the World Series that year either.
How about the 2015 Cardinals? They got a shot.
Who are they?
Not when the Pirates beat them for the division, if you're wondering. 1987, Detroit's Darrell Evans became the first 40-year-old player in Major League history to hit 30 home runs in a season without PEDs.
You mean those little socks they wear?
Yes, that's what it is. Okay, now, in September 22nd, the greatest pitcher in baseball history. Once again, here's a record that will never be beaten. Cy Young, at age 44, beat the Pirates 1-0 for his 511th and final major league victory. Then nobody's ever going to touch that again. 300
Jim, he was a real man.
I never knew that.
He wasn't just an award.
Now, 1966, the Baltimore Orioles clinched their first American League pennant in 22 years. So, wow, there's other teams that went through long droughts, aren't there? But they, with a 6-1 victory over the Kansas City A's, their last pennant came in 1944 when they were the St. Louis Browns. Cesar Tovar on September 22nd, 1968, played 1 inning at each position for the Minnesota Twins, becoming the second major leaguer in history to do it. Bert Campaneris of the Oakland A's was the other one.
What kind of circus is that?
If you're good enough to play every position, why not let them do it?
Good point.
Okay.
First base was his best position.
September 22nd, quite a significant day here. Number of things happened. Andre the Hawk Dawson of the Chicago Cubs stole his 300th base in an 11-5 loss to the New York Mets to become the second player with 300 homers, 300 steals, and 2,000 hits.
Wow.
Willie Mays was the other.
Wow.
Jesus, Bob.
That's rare smoking, Jim.
September 22nd marked the end of another amazing pitching career in Major League Baseball. Nolan Ryan of the Texas Rangers faced 3 Seattle batters before hurting his right elbow. Ryan finished his career with 324 wins, 5,714 strikeouts, and 7 no-hitters. The strikeouts and the no-hitters are both Major League records. And yes, here, Detroit set an American League record with its 118th loss on September 22nd, 2003. The 1916 Philadelphia Athletics at 36-117 had set the previous record. So, when it comes to years of futility, the Pirates had a few bad ones, but somebody's had worse.
Don't give me
Great job, Chip.
They don't believe it, so why try to change their minds, Chip? Thanks for the Chips trivia time. Zach Brenner, we know it's not about baseball, so what's Z time going to be about here? I mean, can you put that away? He's retired from baseball.
Well, why'd they give it out at the ballpark, then?
Well, they got to get rid of some of these things. They're not desperate.
I'm kidding. I don't like to get the baseball fanatics worked up.
Too
but
late.
I got a little,
It's too late.
A little information for you folks at home and for the panel this evening. Forbes recently just released the up-to-date top 100 earners in sports. And in the top 100, there are 27 baseball players smoking Jim Frazier, but you won't find one in the top 10. So the baseball players have kind of taken a little bit of a step back. I mean, their salaries are still super inflated and crazy, out of control, but they're not in the top.
Before you get too deep into that, what's the breakdown with football and basketball?
Between football and basketball?
No, how many, as compared to baseball? Do they have as many or less?
18 football players crack the top 100, but there's not a football player in the top 10. So no baseball, no football in the top 10. But for a sport smoking Jim Frazier that is all but dead to everybody who thinks that boxing is kaput, the top 2 out of the top 10 are boxers, folks. Number 1 being the United States-born Floyd Money Mayweather coming in at $300 million.
Wow.
Manny Pacquiao coming in at $160 million.
Wow.
Then we got 2 soccer players, 2 of the best soccer players in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo at 79.6. Lionel Messi at 73.8. A tennis player at number 5, Roger Federer, came in at $67 million. Now to the basketball players. LeBron James, number 6, 64.8. Durant, 7, 54.2. Then we have 2 golfers that you might not think. And I guarantee you're not thinking of this one. Phil Mickelson comes in at number 8 at 50.8. Right behind him, Tiger Woods at number 9, 50.6 million. So even with having a horrible career right now, Tiger Woods is still the number 9th top 100 in the world. And then rounding it out, number 10.
Is this career numbers you're saying?
No.
Okay, 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year. Wow.
1 year.
That's even
The most
better.
recent. Kobe Bryant missed almost the whole season. Comes in at number 10 at 49.5. What you will find very disconcerting, and this is what I want to talk about briefly here, is that not a single UFC fighter was listed in the top 100. So what that means is there's no Rousey, there's no McGregor. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you know why Floyd Money Mayweather is the best? I don't care about all that other stuff and all that other crap that people want to drag him down about. I'm talking about from a business standpoint. Money Mayweather promotes himself. He doesn't have to pay Showtime. He doesn't have to pay Golden Boy. He doesn't have to pay anybody. The check comes straight to Floyd Mayweather. In the UFC right now, Dana White has a monopoly where he controls. You're not going to earn anything more or less than what Dana White wants to pay you, no matter who you're represented, no matter what grade of fighter you are. So with that being said, Smoking Jim, in a far more brutal and barbaric atmosphere in the cage, you have cage fighters making a fraction of what these boxers are, you know what I mean, taking a lot more damage than Floyd Mayweather's taking on his way to $300 million. So, like I said, it's a little disconcerting right now that, like I said, that Dana White basically will just let you go fight at Bellator, let you go fight at Kings of the Cage, Gladiators of the Cage, Pinnacle Fighting Championships. They do not care because they're going to only give you, this is what we're going to give you. And there's no way around it in the UFC. And that's what I don't think is fair. And that's what's on my mind tonight, folks. The UFC's out of control.
Is Dana like a Don King?
No,
and
they always choose not
like
to.
that?
Oh, and to add to your statistics, the top, from June of 2014 to June of 2015, the highest earning professional football player was none other than Ben Roethlisberger at $50 million.
As he should be.
Well, because he signed his new contract and he gets that signing bonus.
Readjusted, yeah.
Yeah, so he got from June 2014 to June of 2015, he stuck $50
He didn't
million
make that
in his
list, though.
pocket.
49 million's on that list.
Well, that just shoots that list all to hell, doesn't it?
Well, that's why I was asking who was on there. Not to pick the list apart, but we were talking about if you had a kid, the rarity of one Money Mayweather.
Kobe Bryant, 49.5. So if Ben would be right, would be somewhere in there. But like I said, this is Forbes.
A numbers game. 27 baseball players in a union. Not crying about like Zach trying to be a union guy because they need representation. I'm not helping them. I like a lot of them, but I'm not helping them because there's a hater. He'd hate me being a union rep for the fighters. So it shows me that you have some parity or some equality or some chance when you have ownerships that control a business. 27 baseball players out of the top 100, I think that's a heck of a thing.
I'm all for equality.
I know, but you don't practice it. But that's all right. But thanks, Zach. That was an interesting segment you brought out there. So we'll see what that means next year. And as far as whether people are role models or not, you can't combine money and role models. It's rare. And your boy Money is a role model. It's not really a good one, but he is a good business guy to look up to, Zach.
And I never once said he was a great role model. I stick to the business.
Well, because there is a reality to the other part of it, and that does hurt business, you know, as it has with Tiger Woods and some other players that have been out there. So it does catch up to some of them, and they can't make all the advertising when he can't fight in the ring. We'll see if it's $300 million in 1 year. I think that may change. Just a little side note there.
I mean, to make $420 million in 30 months, I mean,
That's some money. That's
money.
Yeah, but it can't buy you class.
I just think Oscar De La Hoya beat him in their fight.
I do too.
And all this is bogus because whoever's behind him, there's nothing straight about boxing. Sorry, my friends, I'm for you in boxing.
Everybody knows how big the ring is going into it. You know, and Alberto, who just fought Floyd Mayweather, wants to say that, you know, bash Floyd, whatever. But hey,
what did he say? I didn't see the fight.
Well, he kind of put it on, you know, for the lackluster pay-per-view numbers. You know, basically when Stevie Upshur almost beat you in Berto, and now you get to fight Floyd Mayweather. I mean, it's not like it was the fight of the century, you know. So everybody knew the numbers weren't going to, you know, be that, you know.
As
fantastic.
Zach Brenner says, anytime you're getting a big payday, doesn't matter whether you win or lose, you got that big payday.
Sound like Berto got a Dana White.
Well, he walked away. Well, Smoking Jim. Well,
all right, enough money talk. I'm done with the money talk. We know there's money for a few.
Let's talk Pittsburgh sports.
Yeah, we got a Pittsburgh sports. We're in a pennant race, and I know we're 4 games out, but as long as you got games to play, it's like that 16-game season. What's 162 in baseball?
We killed it on Sunday.
There's 12 left.
Chip, that's what I'm getting to. 12 games left. What do we play the Cards? 3 games?
We've got 3 against the Cards. We've got 3 more against the Rockies. We get to go back we get to go to
Chicago.
Chicago and get a little payback from they smacked us around pretty good here in Pittsburgh last week.
Yes,
and
they did.
the Pirates are on a 3-game winning streak, taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, and they beat around the Colorado Rockies last night. Actually, they're to secure a playoff spot. Our magic number is 2. That would be a combination of wins by the Pirates and losses by the Giants and the Nationals. So the Pirates could actually wrap up clinching a playoff spot tonight, but right now the Cardinals, their magic number to clinch the division is 9. That would be the combination of St. Louis wins and Pirates losses. So right now, anything can happen. St. Louis's all-star catcher, Yadier Molina, partially torn tendon in his thumb. He'll be out, could be till the end of the season, which bodes well for the Pirates. But, once again, Cardinals won last night, Cubs won, and the Pirates won. So next week and a half is going to be great baseball. Unfortunately, last Thursday, Jung Ho Gong was severely injured in a play that was a little controversial.
Was it?
Well,
yeah.
and I will speak to that because I've played baseball, and you could say that was a good, hard baseball play. Yes, it was.
Is there anything you could do to move it? To move out of the way?
Let me finish, if you please. I believe that the play was reckless on the base runner's fault. That play could have been completed. He could have attempted to break up the double play without deliberately injuring somebody. Nobody knows exactly what his intent was, but things could have been done differently. But as per the rules of baseball, it did not violate the rules of baseball because he didn't leave the baseline. Gong was standing there, had just released the ball. But did it have to happen? The answer to that question is no, but that's the game of baseball.
Now, for the fans at home that may not play baseball, you two to the right played baseball. What I was trying to get from you and get out of you, Chip Hainer, was during the
While you were interrupting
during the
me?
turn.
He didn't
during
finish
the
his
turn
statement.
of,
While you were interrupting me?
we got
Because I'm doing the same to
5-minute
you.
segment on Pirates or whatever,
All right.
man. Chip talks to
And
5 minutes on Pirates, but that's never neither here nor there.
And
But
2
for the
minutes
2
on the
guys that
Steelers
played
tonight.
baseball, what could be done to avoid that when you're turning the double play? Could Jung Ho have just pulled out and not got taken out? That was what I just wanted to get to. Sorry.
Yeah, obviously he could have, he could have done some things differently if he would have jumped. But that's hard to say, when you're making a split-second decision like that.
Here,
Did he have to raise his right leg and hit him in the right knee? No, he didn't. If he would have just swept his feet, nobody would have gotten injured. So, if Gong would have jumped, but
Here's what I'll tell you. Chip makes some great points on it. That's hard baseball. If he were playing for our team and made that move, you guys would have been cheering like the fools on Sunday day that have been out partying too much before the game. You'd have thought it was the greatest play that you ever saw. Could, he have jumped? Jung Ho could have jumped. Could he have stopped? Sure. But that's an aggressive play. Did he mean to take him out for the season? No way. There's no way.
But in the
What
same
he did
season,
try to
Mercer-
do is like you guys say, if you're not cheating, well, this isn't cheating, but he used what's in the game. He saw an opening to do what he did,
It's
and he
not
played
illegal?
hard baseball. It's not illegal. On your team, you'd love the guy.
But I
Against
think
your
what-
team, you
But I
don't.
think what Lil Z was asking was it worth trying to turn a double play?
Yes.
Always.
absolutely.
That's
should
where
he
you
have
don't
just
know
got the-
baseball.
You're trying to win.
So losing
Here's
them
how
for the
simple.
year?
You're trying.
No,
But
you don't
instead
even
of getting
understand
hurt-
the point of
Instead
it.
of getting hurt, that's what he's
We
asking.
had great combinations. Gene Alley, Bill Mazeroski. Bill Mazeroski was like a fire plug. If you would have seen the times that he got hit and whipped with legs similar to that,
Wow. Okay.
you'd always
I didn't
try
see the
for the
play.
double play
Okay.
because that's what you're taught.
Okay.
And you try to get out of the way, but you know you're going to get spiked. You know you're going to get hurt.
Okay.
It's the risk you're willing to take because you're an aggressive ball player, which you guys love on
Now-
both ends of
Now,
it.
if I might interject, though, because I do follow a little bit more than Smoke and Jim Frazier.
Oh, I know that.
Right now, our first baseman,
He doesn't follow.
Alvarez, is blowing the statistical category out for errors in a single season, pretty much at first base. So, like I said, my only question would have been, though, just like not knowing that we're going to lose him for the year, but there's got to be times, though, as a ball player at that position where you might just hold on to it, get the guy, tag the base, you lost the guy at second. Guy at first is in no danger of scoring right now. You're still in for the season. So is it a big loss, though, losing Jung Ho Gong, trying to turn one double play in the 162-game season?
Great question.
Great question. But, I mean, how many double plays have you turned that have changed the outcomes of games?
If you don't take it and you don't do it.
And it is a game-changing play, because what they were attempting to do was they're trying to keep the Chicago from scoring. There was a runner at third, a runner that was, going from second to third, that now they got 2 outs, and they did turn the double play, by the way. But, now the pitcher only has to get the batter out, and then they don't score the run for the inning. Now, if you've got runners at first and third and 1 out, there's a better chance that they're going to score the run, and you're trying to keep them from doing that. So
now,
it's
in baseball, it's the same as a Big Ben is moving around. All right? He's moving around to make a
Apples
play.
and oranges.
No, it isn't. He's running. He could get hurt and taken out. He's trying to throw a ball downfield. The double play is the same thing to stop somebody from scoring. It's like a defensive play.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah. Where do you even get that?
You get fined.
Delete his statements.
You get suspended and you get fined.
Can we touch on real fast also, though? But, I mean, I just think that...
What are you saying? Don't take the risk?
No, I'm not saying that, but
what are you saying?
I'm going to tie it in right now on this statement right here.
All right.
To lose Mercer earlier in the season and not really retaliate, Smoking Jim. To lose Gung for the season, our Korean prospect, man, we finally got lucky and got a $7 million baby or whatever, and now he's gone for the season. What do you guys on the right say to the Buccos not really like retaliating and going after the guy the next at bat or doing anything?
And that's a real good question. And you are in the midst of a pennant race, and if you retaliate, somebody's going to get suspended, and then you're going to lose another valuable ball player that could contribute to helping you win games that you need to win coming up. Not worth it. It's not worth it, because not only do you lose one player, you lose 2, or possibly more, because if there's a bench clearing brawl, then say Andrew McCutcheon gets his hand broke in a scrum, or Gregory Polanco gets hurt. The consequences are far worse.
Is that more a reflection of the managerial style of Clint Hurdle? Because we know what the Cubs, how their makeup is with Madden. We know what's going on in St. Louis. Those two just had a little altercation during their series between the Cubs and the Cardinals. There was a little bit of a,
little bit of a beanball,
a
little brushback, and who knows if something will happen this weekend when we go to Chicago. I don't know. I don't really condone it. I think there's far more important things on the line than retaliating. I think it would be kind of foolish at this point.
The last thing during the Pirates that I would like for you guys to touch on real quick is speaking more about Clint Hurdle and his managerial style. It seems that he has a style where he likes to go from his gut a lot. He doesn't apply a lot of the other factors in baseball. He really just goes with his gut. Do you guys have any problem with that going forward, since we're going to be potentially in a one-game serious game coming up here?
Wait a minute, I see Lil Z's mouth moving, but I think Walk's asking the questions. Some good questions there, Lil Z.
To answer that question,
I enjoy it. It's been
the game
fun.
of baseball has evolved to a point where there are so many different statistics that they evaluate as to whether or not who plays, depending on how you do in day games and night games, whether you hit better against a right-hander or a left-hander. And there's so many different factors into the decisions. He doesn't just do this all based on his gut. There's a lot of material that he uses to evaluate to decide who's going to start in a lineup. Now, has he been successful over the last 3 years? I can't really argue with the decisions he makes. Do I always agree with him? No. But you know what? I'm not the manager of the team, and I haven't won an average of 90 games the last 3 years. So,
But
since he asked me too, my input is I don't agree with Hurdle all the time, and if he goes by his gut and he makes a great decision, that's great. When he leaves a pitcher in too long and they're getting blasted, maybe it's because something in the bullpen's going on that we don't know about. So he has inside knowledge that we don't. Do I like all his decisions? No. Do I think he could have won a few more games? Without a doubt, because his gut won some games, but his relief pitching, he used his bullpen better than anybody else that I've seen throughout the league, watching other games. So to me, that's a good thing. For guys that don't know baseball, and I hope you're learning a little bit, because you can see when guys really don't know about the sport, that they don't understand the inner workings of it. So
I understand.
well, your understanding sounds naive out here that you don't, because you're presenting some things out there like a double play. If you played the sport, and like you talk about coaching, you should be a player and then be a coach. If you truly know the sport of baseball and you played it, you know anybody, and you could call in, don't waste a call, but anybody that played shortstop, second base, they're all about the double play. All about that, because you help your team, you help your pitcher on one play. Think about it. It's like a BOGO. You're getting 2 outs on one play. If you don't want to get something like that, you don't understand the sport.
If you also aren't sound enough to understand, though, fundamentally, to move, jump, sidestep, whatever.
That's not even the point.
There's other things that come towards it, though, too, though. Situational awareness. Situational awareness. Now you're out for the season. Now we need you and you're gone.
Now you know why people
Our kicker, if you want to switch over apples and oranges, Sweezum decided to make a reckless tackle. He's gone. Now we can't even get extra points made.
He's on the roll.
You know what? Just because the guy got injured doesn't mean that was a bad decision. I mean, accidents happen. That was a freak accident, okay? It really was. How many times has that happened over the course of the last 10 years of Major League Baseball?
Rare.
That's about the only time I've seen it. It's rare. That's the only time I've seen it.
And it happened to our guy.
It happened to our guy, and it,
lightning
but it just seemed like that the other team, the other player, it almost went out of his way to force that contact.
No. He did not go out of his way. Here's where I had an issue with the way the runner slid. If he keeps his legs together when he slides, left leg on the ground, right leg on top of the left leg, he raised his right leg up so that his knee made contact with Gung's knee. That's where I say that he was reckless in the way that he slid into the base.
But that happens a lot. These guys rarely keep their legs together.
There's no foul.
No, that's where you're missing the nuances of the game. Like what it's great.
Well, they changed the rule at home plate with the collisions. I love Smith. They try to make us out like we're incompetent, like we don't know anything.
No. That isn't incompetent.
I would
just
not
because you don't know, you're not incompetent.
I would not be too surprised if Major League Baseball revisits that in the off season. They certainly aren't going to change rules in the middle of a season. That will never happen, and especially with the playoffs coming up. But yes, that is something that will be looked into and discussed. And, do I think that the Buster Posey rule is a good rule? No, because, for example, the game that Alan and I were at last Wednesday night, the Buster Posey rule was not enforced. The catcher deliberately blocked the plate, kept the Pirates' run from scoring. It was reviewed, and they didn't uphold the rule. They didn't play.
No, there's a different rule. Did you hear what it was?
Oh, yeah. Well,
it's different if it's an infield like a hit to one of the players. The catcher has the right to figure out what line the throw is going to be on. So he's actually allowed, once he's in position, I don't have the rule down pat, but I was told by a couple experts.
The pierogi?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
It just gives
and they can't talk.
So guys, I was just always, like I said, led to believe, though, that most of the base running was, you were supposed to stay pretty much to the inside of the bag, though. So on that play, though, he kind of came out and put his knee up.
He was in the baselines.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an imaginary line that goes from base to base. It's usually within 3 feet either side of the baseline.
Roughly.
Is considered being in the baselines. He did not go out of his way. Gong was standing in the baseline and he had his left leg planted because he just threw. And, it was one of those It was one of those unfortunate series of events.
So would you label the Mercer injury as more intentional than the Gong?
I don't think that was. I don't think either of them were intentional. I think they were just baseball plays.
Yeah.
I just think they were baseball plays. I'll tell you what. When I used to play, we had a shortstop, and you know how he used to keep people from taking out his legs? He threw a submarine ball, and he threw the ball. And if you were the runner coming in and you didn't get down on the ground, you were going to get hit right in the face with the baseball.
And I saw it happen.
Really?
I saw it happen.
And you're legitimate. You're throwing the ball to the first baseman. The runner's in the way. He gets hit.
It was more a sidearm throw. Now, if a guy's starting his slide, he doesn't get down early, that ball would hit him in the helmet.
So there are things you can do that are within the rules.
No, you guys
to protect yourself.
like to cheat. We're talking about play by the rules, to the letter of the rule.
Well, he wasn't throwing at the ball. He wasn't throwing at the runner. He was throwing to the first baseman. If the runner happened to be between him and the first baseman, so that's.
Did I ever see somebody running down to second and they were caught in a steal and somebody plunk them in the back? You better believe it, because they don't like these guys showing off like you would do if you made a steal and you're all pumped up like you do in this era. Guys would plunk guys right because they were hot dogs. Now you guys would be getting hit all the time and crying to your somebody and saying, why are they doing that?
So I think we beat this horse to death here,
Yeah.
and we got a few minutes left. Let's get into the greatest offense in the history of the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Jim Frazier seems to think that the 2015 Pittsburgh Steelers have just that. Could you elaborate on that for me, Jim?
Yeah, first of all, I believe that the second greatest offense in the history of the NFL was the 1951 Cleveland Browns, followed by the 1984 Miami Dolphins in the 81 San Diego Chargers. But I tell you what, no team that I've ever seen in the history of the National Football League had as much depth. Now, last year, a record that will never be broken like baseball, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the only team in NFL history to have 3 players ranked in the top 2 in production at their position. And they're deeper this year. Now, when you got Big Ben that will pass for over 5,000 yards this year, Antonio Brown will probably catch for over 2,000 yards. And when you get Le'Veon Bell is so special. He can be a Pro Bowl wide receiver, and he's probably the best running back in the National Football League. Heath Miller might go to the Hall of Fame. He's already a Pro Bowler because he's so wide open. They leave him so wide open. Heath Miller's catching balls. There's nobody around him. He's shocked. He's looking for somebody to run over.
Let me ask you your thoughts about this because, with Le'Veon Bell being out for the first 2 games, D'Angelo Williams seems to have found a fountain of youth. Okay, and he has had
number 1 rated running back when he came out of Memphis.
Two outstanding games. And, and I'm sitting here thinking Le'Veon Bell's coming back, and I've looked back over the history of the NFL and running backs that have gotten anywhere between 350 and 400 touches.
Piece of
meat. In a season, usually the next couple of seasons, you see a decline in their productivity. And I'm thinking, with D'Angelo Williams performing the way he does, this could add to Le'Veon Bell's longevity if they spell him occasionally. Now, Le'Veon Bell's probably the best running back in football, but you can't keep feeding him the ball because that position right there, it's you can't play running back and run 400 times a game or a year and still be productive.
Well,
you get beat up.
They're going to run him till the wheels fall
Correct.
off.
You sound like Tomlin.
Yeah. I mean, Le'Veon Bell ain't coming out. D'Angelo Williams is a backup, and the Pittsburgh's. And I agree with you, but teams don't do that. For a certain reason, is the star. He'll be playing. He'll be a wide receiver. He'll be an every down back. But now you got Wheaton out there. Mm-hmm. But the key to make the Steelers the greatest team is Hayward Bay. You got a 4.2 40 world class sprinter. He's a big guy, and there's nobody in the history of the National Football League that their 4th wide receiver was a Hayward Bay.
Would you also say, though, Smoker Jim Frazier, that Hayward Bay last year he kind of hot dogged it a little bit because he didn't want to get himself injured because injury spells doom when you're at that age and stage of your career.
He was a good special team player last year.
Bay,
I don't think did he play much? I don't think Hayward Bay played.
He played on special teams last year, but I think Bay has been humbled. And now he's just grateful for his opportunity to be on a team that he has a chance to win on.
Well, he worked with Ben in the whole offseason.
This discussion's going to have to go for another week.
That was quick.
Now, all you Steeler fans, they are going to the Super Bowl now. They're not just going to be 8-8.
Here we go.
They are going to be great. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Chip the Prophet Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Zach Brenner. Hey, we'll be at the Park House Monday night. Check it out. We got a lot of great guests. Smoking Jim just blew me up with 4 guests. But they're not sweeties, so there's no photo. Stay tuned. There'll be more. We got other great guests coming on. Check out our Facebook. Stay Joey strong.